it's good that we have this now. And still have 25 games left, so we can figure it out. It's the beauty of the NBA. We play so many games. We play in 2 days, so I'll take lessons from this one and keep it rocking.
What parts of the defense did you feel slipped in the fourth quarter?
If I say defensive intensity, it won't resonate as well. But I think just physicality, they just started lining us up and driving the ball and getting fouls and just, like when you're just going downhill the whole time without any kind of resistance, it's easy to get those putback layups and fouls. They were just kind of in the teeth of the defense the whole time. We didn't do a good job of keeping out the paint. That's kind of where the game was.
You mentioned that they kept playing, which would imply that you guys would stop playing. I guess
Stop playing defense. Offense was good.
Right. Just with that, obviously this is a team we watch all year. It doesn't feel like you guys would stop playing, maybe ever. That's not very often. Why do you think that was?
I don't know. There's no real reason to it. I mean, a very simple answer. We're up 25 in a game where we feel like the game's kind of over with, and I think stop playing is probably not a good word, the way to say it. I think just our intensity dropped. Started missing coverages a little bit, got spread out a little more than we usually like to. Kind of let our personnel slip. That's the kind of little stuff that over the course of a whole quarter obviously go awry, and then like I said, they earned the rest of the win.
Jalen, if you could rewind and do or say something different as that defensive breakdown is happening, what would it have been for you specifically?
I don't know if I would go back in time and change what happened. I think it's kind of good that this happened to us, just from a perspective of being able to learn from it. I think Shay's kind of spot on with it's better to have it now than later, but I think just being able to nip personnel in the bud, I don't think we did a really good job of that. I wouldn't say anything about our offense. I thought we generated a lot of good looks that didn't go in, but when your defense is lacking, obviously energy started to shift their way, and that's probably why we didn't make shots. So I would definitely say coming out into that fourth quarter, trying to slam the door right away in that first 3 to 5 minutes and kind of put the game away there.
I'll rephrase. Maybe not rewind and have a different outcome because of the lessons you learned, but if you find yourself in a situation in the future where you feel like something similar is happening, what do you think you'll do differently next time?
I think be more vocal about what's going on, what I see in the game, and I think now that we kind of have that feeling, I'll have more of a feel of what to say and more pinpoint accuracy on what's actually going on throughout the game instead of trying to figure it out. So, but basketball's a team sport, so if I can guard my yard and maybe have some of that energy go to the other players and do that sort of thing, I think that would be kind of how I would help that out.
Deb, you guys have had to play small a lot this year. I mean, the injuries to Chet and Hartenstein, but how different is it in a game like this where the chairs sort of hold on you guys, where it's mid-game rather than about it going into it?
It's nothing new from what's been happening. Chet's situation was kind of similar in that regard. It's nothing too new. We've been able to adjust all year. Been able to adjust since I've been here, so it's nothing crazy new. Obviously, we want those guys out there, but it's nothing we haven't seen or haven't dealt with.
Go ahead.
Aside from the result, having a game tip 19 hours after the previous one ended, can you talk about the physical difficulty that presents?
Yeah, I mean, it's like AAU kind of, you just go back and play night in, night out. It didn't really feel that way. I feel like I've had a little worse back-to-backs. Just from a personal standpoint, I feel like some of my growth is figuring out how to get sleep and recover a little bit faster during some of these games. So my body was actually pretty decent going into this game, but it is some drastic measures. 19 hours is kind of crazy, but both teams had to do it. So I think we kind of cut out some of the excuses there, and we're just ready to play.
Anyone else? Joel, you can have the last one.
obviously teams have been throwing different coverages at Shea all year. Minnesota in these 2 days have thrown the gauntlet at him. It feels like in those situations where the ball is like being stripped from him, it's being taken out of his hands. Do you feel like you're in sort of position to kind of shape those stretches if you wanted to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's how I scored tonight. Got a lot of good looks. He's a willing passer, and he understands that I think in order to ease some of that coverage, he has to get off of it, and we have to make plays. And I mean, if we make even a couple shots down the stretch, probably won't even be having this conversation about the amount of coverages that he had. But yeah, he's been doing the right thing. He makes a lot of like plays that may go over people's head, but like just making like the simple reads and stuff like that, like putting us at an advantage. He's been good with that all year. He's been good with it playing the Timberwolves. So yeah, but it helps everybody on the team kind of get to their spots.
One more, Doug. You mentioned accountability when you were talking earlier. Just what's your relationship with accountability been like this year?
Just take a bigger role in why we lost the game. So I was trying to reflect on what I could have did to do better. In those stretches, not really worried about the whole team as much. Just trying to figure out ways that I can improve to help the team rather than point the finger and bring it up on like this isn't a diss, but like you could easily blame it on like 19 hours playing back to back or whatever the case may be. Like so I try and like take out a lot of the excuses that come with like playing and just trying to look in the mirror and see what I can do better.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.